Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Has anyone in this audience ever wondered the history of the companies that supply you with the products and gizmos you use every day? Today, you will be learning the history of Apple. I want every person in this audience to pull out their phones right now. Now, how many of you guys have iPhones? Let's see, two right here.
Two.
One. I see you don't have any iPhones, right? That's okay. That's okay. Just a little bit of the outcast. No problem. Alright. Now, with the vast majority of you guys having iPhones, did it ever occur to you how the company started? The company actually started right here. It was founded in April 1st, 1976, and they mostly worked out of Steve Jobs' little garage right there. The company was founded by three people: Steve Jobs, Steve Wozniak, and Ronald Wayne. Although not many people really think of him as the original founder because he actually jumped ship like 6 months into the company. Now, in 1976 was when Apple first created the Apple I computer. The Apple I computer was very unique because it was the first computer that was ever assembled into a little box this size. It used to be usually, people had to have their own kits, very big keyboards, and a very big TV. This was simplified very drastically. Macworld reported that only 200 units of these were made. However, this led to the creation of the Apple II, which the Times thinks that was one of the 10 key moments for the company. Even though Steve Jobs was one of the founders of the company, he was not very liked. He was very hot-headed, and he liked to yell and treat many of his employees with disrespect. That was only due to the fact that he was just so passionate in everything he did. However, the board of directors did not agree with him, and in 1985, they actually decided to fire Jobs. From there, Jobs decided to find a company named Next. Next was focused on creating mostly computer software. After Next, he bought Pixar from George Lucas. And as most of you guys know, Pixar is one of the biggest movie companies and animation companies. During the time Jobs was not part of the company, the market share peaked, and according to the Library of Congress, many experts believed the company to be doomed. In 1997, Apple bought Jobs' company Next due to a frantic need of a new operating system, and the board of directors asked Jobs to serve as the interim CEO of the company. Despite the difficulties Apple faced without Steve Jobs, Jobs was able to get back in and take the company to greater heights with his leadership. The first thing Jobs decided to do was streamline the whole company and focus more on one project instead of many. One of the greatest decisions Jobs also made was hiring Johnny Ive. Johnny Ive is actually the creative genius behind most of the design of basically any Apple product. He came up with the candy shell iMac, which many of you would probably remember. It was very colorful, it came in very different colors, and it was very well liked. Apple was able to usher the world to the beginning of a new age of music and creativity. In 2001, Apple introduced the world to the iPod. The iPod was fantastic because it could hold so many songs in just one little device that you could fit in your pocket. And that's exactly the way Steve Jobs actually introduced it to the world. Everything before the iPod was a big radio that people had to carry around, and it was very cumbersome. Now, The iPod was great, but in 2003, Apple debuted the iTunes Store, which made it legal to download music for only 99 cents. This was incredible because there was no real place to get digital music all in one little area, especially not for 99 cents. And this was after the times of Napster, where many people went to that type of service, but it was illegal. Apple's history can be condensed into three very important time periods of the company: the creation, the time Steve Jobs was fired, and the time that they introduced the iPod and iTunes. What I take from this is that you should always pursue what you enjoy doing, because it may lead to something that can change the world as we know it.